Our today's topic of discussion is hemorrhage. So first we will classify hemorrhage. So hemorrhage can be classified into different types. According to source, it can be classified into arterial, venous, also capillary hemorrhage. Then according to duration, it can be classified into acute hemorrhage, chronic hemorrhage, or acute on chronic hemorrhage. Then according to nature of the bleeding, it can be classified into external, internal. Then according to timing of hemorrhage, it can be classified into primary, secondary, and reactionary hemorrhage. So let's start. We will start reading from this book. So depending on the nature of the vessel involved or source of vessel involved, so nature or source, this is first classification. So it can be classified into arterial hemorrhage, arterial, venous, and capillary hemorrhage. Then arterial hemorrhage is bright red in color. It jets out. The pulsation of the artery is seen and it can be controlled as it is visible. So important points are it is bright red in color. So remember this point, arterial hemorrhage is bright red in color. It blood will jets out, and also there will be pulsation of artery can be seen. So pulsation is important point and it can be easily controlled as we can see the bleeding. So this is arterial hemorrhage. So three important points: bright red in color, it blood will jets out, then pulsation of artery can be seen and it can be easily controlled as bleeding can be seen. Then venous hemorrhage, so it is dark red in color. So this is differentiation point, that is arterial hemorrhage is bright red in color and venous hemorrhage is dark red in color, never jets out. So this is also differentiating points. It will blood will ooze out, so it will never jets out. There will be oozing of blood and difficult to control as veins get retracted and it is non-pulsatile. So in arterial there is pulsation, in venous there is not pulsation and it is difficult to control. Okay, this is venous hemorrhage. Now capillary hemorrhage, so it is red in color, never jets out. So never jets out, slowly oozes out. It becomes significant if there are bleeding tendencies. So become significant if there are bleeding tendencies. So arterial hemorrhage bright red in color, venous hemorrhage dark red in color, capillary hemorrhage red in color. Arterial hemorrhage, blood will jets out, pulsation of artery can be seen and it can be easily controlled. Venous hemorrhage never jets out, blood will ooze and it is difficult to control and it is non-pulsatile. And capillary hemorrhage, this is red in color, never jets out, slowly oozes out. Now second classification, depending on the timing of the hemorrhage. So depending on the timing of the hemorrhage, it can be classified into primary hemorrhage, secondary reactionary hemorrhage, and then secondary hemorrhage. So primary hemorrhage will occur at the time of the injury or at the time of the surgery. So it will occur at the time of the surgery. Now reactionary hemorrhage occurs within 24 hours after surgery or injury. So it will occur after 4 to 6 or 6 to 12 hours. So it will occurs after 6 to 12 hours of surgery, and causes will be causes are slipping of the ligature or any hypertension in post-operative period, violent sneezing, coughing, retching, and are the usual causes. Okay, now secondary hemorrhage, so it will occur after 5 to 7 days after surgery. So after 5 to 7 days of surgery, it is due to infection which eats away the suture material, causing slugging of vessel walls. There will be slugging of vessel wall and bleeding after 5 to 7 days of surgery for hemorrhoids. So this is second classification, depending on the timing of hemorrhage: primary, reactionary, and secondary. Primary will occur at the time of injury or surgery. Reactionary will occur within 24 hours after injury or surgery. Then secondary will occur after 5 to 7 days of surgery. Now depending on the duration of hemorrhage, so duration of hemorrhage, it can be classified into acute hemorrhage and chronic hemorrhage. Acute hemorrhage and Chronic hemorrhage. So acute hemorrhage occurs suddenly. So there will be sudden onset or rapid onset. Example, esophageal variceal bleeding due to portal hypertension. And chronic occurs over a period of time. So there will be gradual or insidious onset. Okay, now next classification is depending on the nature of the bleeding. So external hemorrhage and internal hemorrhage. External hemorrhage can be also called as revealed hemorrhage, that is we can see that bleeding, and internal hemorrhage is concealed hemorrhage, that we can't see that bleeding. Okay, so external hemorrhage like epistaxis, hematemesis, and internal hemorrhage like splenic rupture following injury, ruptured ectopic gestation, liver laceration following injury. So this is classification of hemorrhage. Now we will revise it from SRB. So hemorrhage can be classified according to source of bleeding into arterial, venous and capillary. Arterial hemorrhage is bright red in color, venous dark red in color, and capillary is red or bright red in color. So there will be spurt like jet along with the rhythm of the pulse in the patient. So it is pulsatile and blood will jets out. Then venous, steady and continuous flow, the blood will never jets out, sudden and rapid. Capillary hemorrhage, continuous ooze will be there. Now second type of classification is according to time of onset. So according to time of onset, it can be classified into primary, reactionary. Primary at the time of injury or surgery or operation, reactionary within 24 hours after surgery or after injury, commonly in 4 to 6 hours. Okay, now secondary occur after 7 to 14 days of surgery. Then third classification is according to type of hemorrhage. So type of hemorrhage, it will be revealed hemorrhage, concealed hemorrhage, initially concealed but later revealed. Revealed means we can see the bleeding, then concealed we can't see the bleeding, initially concealed that initially we can't see the bleeding, but after few days or after some time we can see the bleeding. So revealed hemorrhage, it is visible external hemorrhage. Concealed, it constitute internal hemorrhage like liver injury and spleen injury. Initially concealed but later revealed like hematemesis, means blood in vomiting, blood with vomiting. Then melena, hematuria, fracture femur, ruptured ectopic gestation. Then fourth classification is according to duration of hemorrhage. So acute hemorrhage, chronic hemorrhage, acute on chronic hemorrhage. Acute sudden severe hemorrhage after trauma or surgery. Chronic is gradual hemorrhage. And important point is that we will correct chronic hemorrhage by packed cell transfusion. So we will in any case of chronic hemorrhage we will transfuse packed cell transfusion is done. So this is important question. So packed cell transfusion is done in chronic hemorrhage. Then acute on chronic hemorrhage, it is more dangerous as the bleeding occurs in individuals who are already hypoxic, which may get worsened faster. So this is fourth classification. Then so hemorrhage according to source of hemorrhage can be classified into external and internal. External hemorrhage revealed outside or seen externally. Then internal hemorrhage, it is the one that is not seen from outside. It is concealed hemorrhage. This type of hemorrhage is seen in bleeding peptic ulcer, ruptured ectopic gestation, fracture of major bones, rupture of spleen or liver. Sometimes concealed hemorrhage may be revealed or external hemorrhage. Then hemorrhage can be classified into arterial, venous and capillary. Arterial hemorrhage comes from the artery, and That's why it is called as arterial hemorrhage. Recognized as bright red color, ejected in a spurts with each systole of the heart. So it will ejected in the spurts. There will be blood will jets out. Then venous hemorrhage comes from the vein, characterized by dark red color, flows out steadily instead of the spurts. Blood loss is copious. Okay. Then capillary hemorrhage, it is also bright red, oozes rather than flows out. It will ooze. Okay. And then next classification is according to time of appearance. It can be classified into primary and reactionary, and then secondary. So primary hemorrhage at the time of the injury or operation. Reactionary occurs within 24 hours of injury or operation. In majority of cases, reactionary hemorrhage occurs within 4 to 6 hours. Such hemorrhage takes place due to dislodgement of blood clot or slippage of ligature. Then secondary hemorrhage occurs after 7 to 14 days of injury or operation, usually due to infection or sloughing of part of the arterial wall. So there will be sloughing of part of the arterial wall, and it is due to infection. So this is all about the classification of hemorrhage.